Hmm. Okay. I don't think it started, which is interesting. Oh no, it started. Perfect. Okay. So, welcome on the first meeting of the new governance board. Um, do you feel like we have to do some professional introduction of people? Like, uh, 'cause- okay. So, I'm the stepping down executive director of the Async API initiative, and I'm here for the first and for the last time in the governance board meeting. And that's the call. The purpose of the call is just to figure out like the handover plan, basically the most important, which is handover of stuff from me to you. But first, like if we can make a round, like for whoever is watching the recording, like we have three members of the new governance board at the call. So if you can just briefly introduce yourself, Fran, you first.
I shouldn't have raised my hand. Uh, yeah, so I'm Fran Mendez. I created this in KPI, among other things. I used to be the executive director. Then I passed the torch to Lucas, uh, who now realized why he doesn't like to be in that position. And now I'm somehow getting back to it, but this time with help. It's not just a single person anymore. So, so yeah, glad to be back at it. Finally, I can focus on some KPI again. Finally, and and yeah, so nothing else. I think yeah, I'm always open to any chat messages on Slack or LinkedIn or whatever, and happy to answer any questions people might have or hear.
Okay, thanks. Tuli?
Hi everyone. I don't know if you don't know me, who do you know it as Sync API, honestly? So I don't know what kind of introduction should I make. Okay.
Whatever.
Hi
Just one
everyone.
sentence.
Oh, I'm Chile. It's nice to meet you, everybody. Bye. Said one sentence. That's one sentence, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Hugo?
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Hugo. I'm based in Boston, in the United States. We're originally from Mexico. Currently, as part of the product team within Kong, and yeah, I've been doing the Sync API since a long time ago. Happy to contribute as part of the ambassadors program, TSC member, and now happy to join the board and being able to contribute and continue spreading the good news and the secret weapon on event-driven architecture that is a Sync API initiative and the community, of course.
And I just realized that we have like truly global governance boards because we have Europe, Americas, and Africa in one board. Really cool. Really cool. Okay, so let me share a screen with the agenda basically. Um, uh, uh, um, where is the Hmm. So I would say the three main things are first of all the responsibilities. So when the in simple words, the governance board replaces executive director. So basically, there are no new things. It's just that instead of one person doing many things, just going to be three members of the governance board doing these. They're all sorry, the structure changed a bit recently and is in progress. Wait. because we want to have everything on the website as well. Easy searchable. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Responsibilities. Yeah, this. So I'm not gonna go through all of them. First of all, that because you know them because you applied for governance board, but also like the thing is that there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different things, a lot of details, and you have to somehow meet, sync, whatever async way to come up with a plan how you want to do it. If you want to have all in for 3 people and you just like even if it comes to getting sponsors, you might coordinate 3 of you work on getting sponsors, or you just have to agree basically which bullet points who's going to be responsible in the board for, because there's a lot of knowledge to share that I have to share, and I need to basically know who am I sharing it with. So like basically that's the easiest one. Like for example, making sure that the whatever we do is compliant with the charter that was agreed with the community. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff where there's a lot of details, a lot of introductions that I have to do between you, for example, and sponsors. So you need to like carefully go through these and come up with the with how you want to do it. Like managing funds in Open Collective, should this be one board member that updates the other board members, or all of you are there and coordinate? It's really critical how you do it. I just later need to know like how I can hand over, set up a call like individual knowledge sharing, or maybe not individual, maybe group knowledge sharing meetings, or maybe I should record just videos about them. But that's one of the critical points. Like you have to figure out how you do it long term, and having in mind the most important thing, that the goal of the plan for the board is that it is minimum 5 people, not 3 people. So we elected 3 people this year. And for example, one of the things you're responsible for is to make sure that next year we have another election for another 2 members. Because, like the plan is that we never exchange the whole board at once, but we have like this kind of shifts. So the knowledge sharing is easier. So yeah, that's if it comes to like these duties and responsibilities, like really, really in general, as a starter for discussion. Budget. On the budget side, what I'm leaving is you probably recall this table. That's something that I usually send to TSC for approval. So that's basically how I manage in the most simple way, the budget, and submitting it for voting with the TSC. The budget was voted on February, and at the beginning of this month, I did updates to it to reflect the current state. Few things changed this week, so it's not yet the latest one. I'm gonna put some updates this week. But the situation is that on the budget side, we're secured for this year easily, and as last year, I was making sure that we're not committing everything. That we're not planning like 100% of the budget to spend, but like leaving 20% for next year, because there's a lot of expenses that are cross year. I mean, go from one year to another, basically. So it's pretty. There's a lot of gymnastics, basically, in planning this budget. But we are secure. All the sponsors, new ones and the previous ones, all the deals are closed. and already taken into account. The only one that is not yet booked in Open Collective is Acclivity, but I already have a verbal confirmation. The invoice was sent. We're just waiting for payment. So there's nothing new, or at least nothing that we know that will be paid. I have few channels opened with there's the spending discussion with Confluent. There's the spending discussion with WSO2. But it's not even here because it's really, really huge unknown. So from all the known things, the current state is that you don't have to worry about the money. There's a lot of money that is not yet spent. So we planned 140,000 in spendings, and for now it's just 56 spent. Although, Fran, you probably noticed that you already got charged for Zoom, so you need to submit the to pay for the third-party services. You have to submit invoice. So of course the numbers will change a bit. So yeah, on the budget overall, of course, then later on I can jump into like item by item. And yeah, and I already mentioned handover plan is basically critical, because I basically would love to step back to already on day one give you space, but I also know like how stuff works. It's usually there has to be some onboarding, especially when it comes to sponsors. But then if I know what's your plan, who's taking over what, then I can also plan my time to be 100% available for you. And last but not least, for now, let's not tackle this. Last but not least, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, not going anywhere in the sense that after this meeting, I cut my ties. Like, no, Async API, I don't know what it is. So you're always gonna be able, of course, to reach out. And even if we don't cover something now, even in next month, if you're gonna ask me in a few months, then it's completely fine. I can help. But I think it's obvious in this case. And even though I'm stepping down, I still feel responsible. So there is something that I started already a few months ago, and one by one, I'm cleaning up the GitHub organization, looking for maintainers of some abandoned projects, and then archiving the projects. So that's something that one thing was voted last month. There will be a lot of templates moving into the generator, so there's gonna be more and more cleanup happening. So I'm not putting it on you. I know what to do, so I'm gonna be basically still pushing for that to happen. And if it comes to the automation about TSC voting, so this the charter says that anybody can be TSC member, but you have to vote. If you did not vote in the last 3 months, you should be removed from TSC. You're not banned, but you're removed. And then, of course, whenever you're back and you want to join again TSC, you can do it. It's just like not sure if you've ever been involved in Apache Foundation. It works the same with members of Apache Foundation. Like if you don't participate, you're just removed. But whenever you're back, you can be added to the list back again. And then again, automation should remove you if you're not voting. So later on, your life will be easier, because now my life was a lot of pinging, asking, going to different channels, reminding people, hey, vote, hey, vote. So we've got a lot of great automation in place, email reminders, etc. It's just that we don't have yet this final automation of like removing people, notifying them that they can come back. We don't have that yet fully automated, and that's something I just there are a few contributors that are helping with it, and I coordinate the work. So that's something again like you can expect me to work on it, because I want to work on it. Basically complete it. And and yeah, like because I'm talking a lot, let's not talk yet about Jesus, suggestions of board topics. Do you have already any questions, some concerns, whatever?
In my case, is there like an inventory of assets of the initiative? And where can we find that? Like, is there like a one-stop place where we can go and find the resources that we might need to interact with?
You mean like tooling or in general, any resources? Like what, like for example?
Yeah, exactly. Like, where the software subscriptions, the the Sears, the Google Drive, or things like that, where we can find documents and when we know if we have commitments as initiative to the specific things, and basically sort out of inventory of what the initiative owns and it's responsible for, or that has duties with as an entity, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah, sorry. The thing is that I was alone, so I just knew what's there. But of course, I can provide such a thing. Luckily, Fran knows a lot. Tuli also knows a lot. It's just a matter of collecting. Because yes, we have Google Workspace. That's something also which is quite critical for the board to push forward. That's something I didn't have energy for last year with so many things. But yeah, at the moment, for example, we have Google Workspace that is basically fully sponsored by Fran. It's registered under not official asyncAPI.com domain, but asyncAPI.io. So for example, this is one of the assets that is the biggest responsibility because there's an info@asyncAPI.io email that I monitor daily. So yeah, there are critical assets that need attention and not that much critical because there are already some ownerships in the community, like for example, we had to switch this week from SendGrid to Mailjet. But Mailjet, it's just for mailing for TSC notifications. And there's one contributor that is dealing with it. But again, it's me that I need to know how to log in there, etc. So we don't have these things again. We don't have these things. We don't have this inventory. We don't have, unfortunately, one password set up. Mainly because I was the only one having access to all the tools. So my personal approach is, which maybe is not the smartest one, is I always set up complex password, make the browser to remember it, and then when I log in, browser remembers. But then if it's failing, I just reset password. So I don't use any tools for password. That's something that will have to be also created, I guess, if there's 3 of you using one tool. Some tools allow you to do team accounts, some unfortunately not. But yeah, we have a lot of tools. Buffer, we have Zoom, which are paid, and we have free ones.
Exactly.
Yes.
An inventory of the tools or we have presence or we have been using or we have accounts set up that might need to, monitor or, even being able to leverage, right?
Yeah, and especially, but you're gonna have this discussion in the board. Especially, I already had a lot of discussion with Tuli. We tried many different ways, like how to reach out to speakers, to sponsors. Maybe Gmail doesn't work. Then we tried I don't remember the name of the tool. Attic, I think it's Tuli. You remember?
Atio?
Atio. Then I tried to use Atio, which is a tool for this kind of marketing where you can register an account and then send batch emails to, for example, to some contacts. So, for example, I already made sure that you have an inventory at least of sponsors and partners. So we have a tool where we have the inventory of all the partners and sponsors. I mean, email addresses and names. But the thing is, again, like everything was now done through the generic email called info@asyncAPI.io. not personal. So I think there's a lot of love needed, for example, with Google Workspace to get an official one that we pay for, that we can then connect with Linux Foundation, because there are some features, for example, for emailing lists, and maybe even consider having that board members have individual emails that you use to contact with, for example, sponsors. So it's not in Async API initiative contacting, but actually, for example, Ugo contacting, like ugo@asyncapi.com or something like this. So yeah, there's some things that could be done more professionally are not there in place, and but yeah, I'll provide the list.
And want to clarify as well, like, or give a little bit of context where we're coming from. So the reason we have this asyncAPI.io domain is, I think it's prior to, for sure, it's prior to joining Postman, like more than 4 years ago. And when I closed that deal with Postman, they were going to support the project and so on. So one of the plans, was to create a company out of Async API, a company that will support the open source initiative. And one of the possible plans, right? Then we came up with this deal with Postman, and we forgot about it. Like we don't want to create another company. So that's why we got the asyncAPI.io, because, and also I want to clarify that asyncAPI.io was not donated to Linux Foundation. Only asyncAPI.com and asyncAPI.org are donated to Linux Foundation. So they are the proprietaries of the domains. asyncAPI.io is owned by me personally. We left it like this because it works fine. I have no bad intentions about it. So that was like, okay, let's just keep using it, and one day we'll migrate it. So I think, as Lucas was saying, like maybe now it's the time to do it. To the day is now, right? Like let's migrate this to asyncAPI.com or asyncAPI.org. I think .com is fine because that's what we're using everywhere, right? So we can get rid of using asyncAPI.io, right? And so it's basically that. That's just wanted to give the context of why do we have an unofficial, why are we using an unofficial email account, right? For the official, as an official account, right? And that's why I'm paying for it, right? That's why I'm paying for it myself, because it's like, no, this is not initiative stuff. It's my stuff. I pay for it. And then one day I'll stop paying for it. I'll close the email maybe in 4 years. Let's see.
Wait a second, there's an alarm here.
Yeah.
He say alarm?
Alarm, yeah. I hope it's fine. I hope this was not another professional way of saying. We were just making jokes before the call, so sorry for that.
Yeah, sorry, folks. The smoke alarm went off, so we had to check what was going on. But it was like a false alarm. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's fine. I'll be fine. So yeah, we're saying that this is the context. This is where we're coming from. Ideally, we should move this to asyncAPI.com or a Linux Foundation owned domain, right? So it's official, right? And I can stop paying for it as well. That would be fine. That would be great. Although it's not that much, but yeah. Any questions about it? I'll happy to reply. About anything related to that, happy to. Not just you here in the call, but anyone in the community. I'll be happy to reply.
Thanks for the context, Fran. And so yeah, there's like there are these things that are outstanding, like somebody has to monitor email. But again, it's as I said, I'm not going anywhere, so it doesn't mean that you have to do it like starting from today. So I can monitor emails, etc. And you just figure out like basically how you want to do it. If because I think now it's just one email basically, one account, which means sharing password, which means not the best. So yeah, you have to, especially the security related stuff, discuss elsewhere and figure out how you want to approach it. If day one start one password or whatever, or there's a again, just wanted to highlight there's something big that I would do if I would stay. So we have a lot of old working groups, and I think it's I never expected that it's the work of someone in the community. I always thought that because it's such important stuff and organizational stuff that it's always director and then the board that needs to make sure that this is cleared out. So basically make sure that we always have the latest status. I know that like in the past, I also had a lot of discussions with Fran about like that the best would be if at some point of time working groups prepare, like every single working group prepare some kind of report so we know they're working. And then but yeah, there's a lot of review needed here. There's this something that is the biggest topic in the planned in the budget, but no work started. That's something that was brought up by Tuli in last year for 2025 plans, where we basically think that it's a right time to set up some kind of fund to not only pay maintainers through the bounty program, but also like have some critical areas of Async API that require development, and have someone who's paid for it. So basically figure out what's the most critical and use the funding to pay for it, because there's a lot of when it comes, for example, to parser or generator, these are tools that everybody use and everybody should contribute to, also the ecosystem. But like in organization, there's a lot of work that nobody wants to do because it's not the most rewarding, like automation. This TSC automation long term, once I'm done with it, somebody has to maintain it. There are candidates that are really good guys that I worked with that were working on the automation. But yeah, I don't recommend you take it on your back as I was doing it with the automation. So and delegate basically, especially that we have people in the community, like for example Ashish, that can do it. And yeah, the roadmap is there for so long. Nobody is asking, nobody's checking. Something has to be decided. It was created during times when we were still in Postman. We had a lot of time to do fancy things. And now you just have to review the whole concept of what it means roadmap for Async API, basically, and what should be in the roadmap. And last but not least, again, a lot of programs started working, Async API programs, like for example, Bounty. We're getting more and more maintainers interested with like pushing some projects through the Bounty as well. We're getting more and more people interested. We also will have more and more people interested with the fund. So I think it makes sense to look into the concept of like maybe you know, like I wouldn't say it's the same like in CNCF when you have different levels of projects, if they're advanced or not, but rather some kind of categorization, like the critical projects that we need to make sure that they survive, like Spec or Parser.js or React component. So later on, whenever you make decisions in the community about funding, about investing, it's based on these priorities. But again, it's a lot of discussions that you're gonna have to run through community. So I definitely don't recommend it to do it quickly. You're gonna do with whatever you want actually with the recommendation I have. But yeah, just few topics. You also need to accept of the tooling if it comes to the question of from Ugo about the resources. We also have human resources, people, contracts. For now, we have Tuli on the contract, so you definitely have to make sure that, like, for now, it was executive director taking care of these contracts, making sure, like, cooperating with Open Collective to get the contract on behalf of Async API. So that's something that is now going to be on your side. But of course, again, I'm going to give you a detailed handover. So how I was doing it before, like
What
employee
about
review, etc.
what about Bami for marketing?
Yeah, and Bami for marketing. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying an example if it comes to the hiring. Yeah. But again, then we can go into details and basically explain how I did it for now, if you want to continue or not this way, how that's gonna work.
So just a quick question from the legal perspective, who is allowed to sign, legal papers, contracts, and things like that from the initiative?
Nobody. We're not an entity. Legally, we are part of the LLC, whatever is the name of the legal entity registered in Delaware, which is the LLF projects. In the charter is the correct name. It's basically an entity from Linux Foundation. So legally, the IP, the trademark belongs to the Linux Foundation. So if it comes to signing any papers related to these topics, it's Linux Foundation.
But for the contracts, like
For the contracts, if it comes to money, basically,
Yeah.
the another support we have from the another foundation we have support from is Open Source Collective Foundation, which is one of the hosts on Open Collective platform. Names are a bit complex because the platform has the same name as similar name to the foundation, but basically that's how it worked now. That the money, everything related to finance, it's outside Linux Foundation. So we had this agreement with Linux Foundation that we can manage finance separately as well, which was a good decision because we tried their crowdfunding platform and it was really hard to reimburse people last year. So Open Source Collective Foundation is the one that signs contracts in our name. So they sign the contract on our behalf, basically. So we just make sure that we have money, and we say like, hey, we have this project, we have $24,000 in this project, and it's purely for this position. And then they make sure that they sign contract for 12 months. And then, of course, we are the ones that are responsible for making sure that the work is done, and we're the ones that have to make sure that we either renew the contract or not. But they give this functionality from the foundation that they can sign the contract. Yeah. And that's something that I was doing now as taking care of these. But you have to figure out basically if there's one person responsible for contracts, or you have your expertise and you just want to be responsible and mentoring in a specific topic. Tuli?
Oh, okay. Then I guess it's something that we need to figure out because still, it's not about the contracts, right? What about the visa letters and everything? I think Fran, Hugo don't know that other aspect and the other letters and stuff like that.
Yes, it's a good question. I mean, good remark. Basically, yes. There are some papers that I was signing. It was not contracts. It was not like legal documents. But in the last 2 years, I signed several different letters, like like confirmation that somebody is a long-term contributor or maintainer or on the contract. So whenever somebody wants to travel somewhere, needs visa or some other papers, like basically applies somewhere, then I was I was writing these documents, signing them with my name, and putting that I'm the executive director. So yes, but these are not legal documents. It's like again, like I'm representing the community outside to these organizations. You're gonna do it now. So basically, may happen like Maya sometimes reach out to me that she wants to go to Germany or apply to some apply to some oh my God, what's the name when the scholarships, and she needs, one of the requirements is that she needs some paper that confirms that her involvement in open source and design. So because I know that it's true, then I'm basically I have just a template where I make such writes provide such documents and sign them with open sign. So yeah, it's
This can probably be delegated to the chairperson, right? So whoever is the chairperson in the governance board will be the one signing, and I think that's the easiest path, probably.
yeah, it's
Actually, anyone can sign it, but yeah,
yeah,
just to make it clear.
it really depends how you're gonna organize stuff. So if let's say because for example contract with BAMI ended, so we're now in this it ended just recently, so of course I did not do anything without you. So let's say long term, you decide to extend the contract, and you're going to extend contract for community management with Tuli. If in the end you're gonna be dividing your work in the way that one person is just taking care of marketing and the other person is taking care of community, then I guess that, for example, signing letter will be the best if the board member that is actually responsible for a given contract will sign the paper. So it's really, I would say, flexible. The most important is that you communicate between each other and you let your inform yourself that you're signing such a paper, and that it's all done under the Google Workspace of Async API. So all the letters are in one place. I guess that would be the best. Because now again, I was alone, so I was not always following this. I was just putting them on Google Docs. I can of course move them to the official Async API, but I didn't pay attention more about it. So yeah, any more questions, remarks?
You were getting top to the hour, so how do you want like to start proceeding? Do we have a tracking tool for the plan? Are there any ways to follow up on this? Are we using a particular tool? How do you want to track it? Because it
To be
looks like
honest,
there's
up to you. So I don't have any anything that I would suggest. It's because you're the new board. Let's do it your way. So you've basically think, folks, how we want to do it. If we do it, the best is GitHub. But not everything can be written in GitHub, especially when it comes to security-wise stuff. So really up to you. We can basically on daily basis create tasks. It can be wherever you decide to to do it with remembering about transparency, basically. So for example, like I don't have anything, just to answer again, like I don't have anything to suggest you. So for example, when it comes to the inventory of tools, I'll just create an issue in community repo and I'll just start making inventory there and then create a document out of it and save it in GitHub, because in the end, this inventory is important for everyone, not just for the governance board, for transparency issues. So I didn't plan to use any other fancy tracking tool. Did I answer your question?
Correct.
I have a question. I
Yeah, go
mean,
ahead, go ahead.
there is truly the governance, the governance board member, and there is truly the community manager. So how is that going to work?
I don't know. You figure it out.
I'm asking so that I know where to draw the line. Like, if there is truly if the board member truly the community manager, so what happens? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really between you folks. Like you have to. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna tell you how you do it, because in the end you're gonna be blamed for it, not me. So
Honestly, I will take the approach of let's just move forward with whatever we're doing. Let's continue this way. And if any problems arise, then we adapt. Instead of trying to prevent potential problems that might never happen, right? So let's just move forward. You continue being the community manager as you've been doing. You are also a board member. I'm also a TSC member. I'm also a maintainer, right? So how does that work? It works, right? It just works like that. We just happen like Lucas was the executive director, but he was also a maintainer of some repos, right? So he has he had no more power than others in this repo. He was just a maintainer in this repo. He was not a special guy there, right? But and in this case it's the same. Like we have different things to do here, different tasks if you want, or lines of work if you want. As long as there is no conflict of interest or anything like that, or anyone calls us out for any kind of conflict of interest or something like that, let's just move forward. Let's just continue. Let's just try to be as transparent as possible. Transparency works like a charm for this, like we're doing now. So we're having this discussion in the open. So if we're just transparent and honest about our interests, let's say what we want to do and so on, that will be fine. I don't think we should be doing anything special. Honestly, I may be wrong. Maybe something pops up in a few months or in a year or something like that. Cool. Then we adapt. We'll handle that problem whenever it appears. Right.
yeah,
If that appears.
adaptive approach is the best. Like but now I understand why Tuli asked. Basically because till now it worked this way, that like because I'm responsible for execution of stuff, then of course I had bi-weekly meetings with Tuli, like mentoring, feedback sessions. Of course, a lot of work was handled, of course, over usual channels, GitHub, meetings, etc. But Tuli received this guidance, and I was also doing employee review to help her out with the feedback. So again, it's up to you really to figure out if you want to have it, how you do it. Really, there's I can give you an idea, but in the end, the best if you're gonna find your way.
Actually, Tuli, you're gonna do your own employee review, so what's wrong with it? Like,
Yeah, talking to the mirror.
Oh my goodness. I need somebody to bite, of course. So that's why I'm asking. Like there is Tilly, the community manager who needs, and like what Lucas said, at least if I was stuck, I could quickly run to Lucas or whatever I needed with. So then there is now 2 rows here that there is Tuli. Who is she gonna run to when she's the board member as well? So what happens then?
Yeah. Actually, the only thing, well, in this case, to me, in my opinion, I think this is something you were doing with Lucas. And as long as you guys are fine with that, that shouldn't be an impediment, right? Like you could continue doing this kind of mentorship if you want to, of course. That shouldn't be like something from, let's say, from the governance board. That like it doesn't have to. Employee review, yeah, probably has to come from the governance board, most likely, yes. And you're part of it. So I guess, yeah, I understand what you mean. So yeah, we can exclude you from when writing the employee review. You are not allowed to be writing it, of course, because it's your own review, right? That should be fine. But and also I see a potential conflict of interest as well. Like when renewing the budget, are we gonna renew your position? You're not gonna vote no to that, right? Like so there's a potential conflict of interest there. Like you want to or you want to put more budget there in your position because you want to earn more, this kind of things. I mean, you are not voting alone.
I mean, I
Uh,
do deserve a raise, don't I?
You probably do. I don't know, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that
Mhm.
people can see it as a potential
Mhm.
conflict of interest. I don't think it's a problem because you're not voting alone. It's not that you are approving your own race, right? It's also Hugo and myself, and the next year there will be 2 more people at least, right? So it's not just you, right, approving that. Um, so that shouldn't be a big issue, let's say, right?
Actually, with this one, it's easy. Like, so your job is mainly to make sure that the review is done, and you do recommendation, not renewal. So you like that's what was always done. So it's I was doing review and then open recommendation to TSC, and TSC is voting.
Exactly. We don't decide in this case.
Yeah,
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 you're
yeah.
right.
So
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 we just recommend, but it's ultimately on the TSC to decide if we renew or not. So it's not on us. It's not on the governance board.
okay, so the time is ticking. I know that some of you might have different responsibilities. So I would say the most important is I'm gonna start doing the inventory, and the other stuff is like you folks sync offline. I don't know, create a channel, decide how you want to, if you want to have public meetings, but also the sensitive stuff discuss in private and then just share with the community the outcomes. That's really up to you, but you have to basically go through these responsibilities that I told you about, and decide how you want to basically do the handover with me. Because as I said, I'm flexible. I can do meetings as many as you want. Record it. I can just record. That's what I also sometimes do in the past. Record basically, and then somebody can play the recording. But then you don't have an option to ask questions. So yeah, it's really up to you. Any final questions?
So you had in the list also to select the chair of the board. Is that something we need to do now? Is it something that we can think about it? What's the idea behind that?
Yeah, so we need a chair, but I don't think we have. You would have to look into charter. Sorry, I don't remember the date. I don't think we have. Probably in first month you have to do it. But yeah, you definitely have to have a chair, because somebody has to be responsible for example, setting up the monthly meetings. So this administrative tasks you have to assign to somebody. So the sooner you do it, the better. But how you do it, if it's through GitHub issue or whatever, as long as you communicate the decision, the sooner the better, basically. But yeah, you don't need me on the call for that.
Okay, got it.
I think we need to set up like a communication channel, of which maybe something that we need to do after the call. I don't know.
Yeah, please do it.
Yeah, I will do a
Okay.
public one first on Slack.
Mhm.
So yeah, I will not even set up a private one yet. Only if something sensitive, as Lucas said, appears, then we create a private one. But the private channel, not a private conversation between the three of us, a private channel that we can invite in the future. Next year,
Mhm.
we can invite future board members and they can see the whole conversation, the whole track, right? Well, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's something we want to, but anyway. So yeah, I will default to public in this case, like just show that we are trying to coordinate and trying to do whatever we need to do. And if someone wants to join the channel to see how's it going, or ask any questions, they can join, of course. Most likely nobody will join, or if they or to speak. Most likely people will join just to see that's usually what happens. Like in these meetings, like except Maya, who's pretty active in the community. Usually people don't join this kind of conversations, as you know, Tuli, as well. So yeah, it's really hard to get people to participate. So being open, it's not really a problem. It's not gonna create a lot of noise. That would be a good problem to have. But no.
Okay, so you create the channel, I work on the inventory, and in the channel you sync. I mean,
Yeah.
I also sync with you about the handover.
That's good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and deadline is ASAP.
Is there any other kind of deadline?
It's always ASAP.
What's up?
You see that-
It's open source. I mean, why do we
I
have
mean,
deadlines?
open source ASAP.
Open source ASAP is on next year. We wait until the next elections and we appoint the person with the most votes as a chairperson. No, I will just yeah. Let's take it easy. This is
I mean, officially you joined,
it's
like
it's also summer.
the new board is when the election ended, the new board is in place. But of course, it's, as Franz said, summer. So everybody
in the
will
north.
under.
I mean, which
Summer-
summer are you talking about?
The summer with sun, and it's at least plus 20 degrees, not like in South Africa, sorry.
It's summer in the north. Yeah.
Yeah, northern hemisphere is summer.
Northern Hemisphere.
Sorry.
I don't know the summer you're talking about because it's winter season. So please, please explain which summer you're talking about.
Oh man.
So yeah, you're gonna see that there's a lot of in this global world differences. But yeah, that's it. I guess we can finish. Let's sync.
Yes, please. Let's finish up. I need to
Yeah.
prepare the next call.
Okay.
Thanks for this call, man.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Cheers.